Today we can remove the curtains a little bit. Remove means put them on side so we can get some natural light. Since it's a little cooler. Ready? Om Sadashivasamharambham Shankaracharyamadhyamam Asmadacharyaparyantam Vande Guru Paramparam Dayakaram Dayakaram Dantam Dharma Pravartakam Pranamami Dayanandam Madacharya-varam param. Om Sahanavavatu Sahanau bhunaktu Sahaviryam karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Brahmashraya Maya Asti. That is the one sentence which we are still unfolding. Maya inseparable from Brahman. We cannot say Maya has her origin in Brahman. We cannot say that. Why cannot we say that? Anadi. Anadi. And the origin is what? There is no origin. Kalpita Shakti. Anadi. Brahma also Anadi. Non-separate from Brahman, which is Anadi. Therefore, Maya Shakti Anadi. And this is Jagat Karanam Brahma. This is how Brahman becomes the cause of the universe. Because that causality is, as it were, superimposed upon this Satchidananda. Satchidananda posed as though causality gives this Satchidananda a new name. What is that new name? Ishvara, not Maya, Ishvara. Causality is Maya. Gives a new name, Ishvara. Suddenly the hands join together. Oh, worshipful. OMG, this is what it is. And that same Satchidananda plus a whole lot of complaints gets a new name. What is that? Everybody knows this. Jiva, full of peeves, pet peeves. Better to be called Piva. Okay. Yeah. This is the situation. So what is the difference between Jiva and Ishvara? Complaints. That's all it is. And what is the cause of complaints? Atma Ajnanam. No Atma Ajnanam, no complaint. Really. And then now we look at Brahman as Ishvara, Jagat Karanam Brahma. At this point, the Maya is non-separate from Ishvara. Ishvara doesn't come under the spell of Maya. That is why it's all knowledge. This is what we have to understand. Ishvara is like Mayavi. Mayavin, we saw that in the quote yesterday from Shvetashvatara Upanishad. Mayin, Mayavin, same thing. Mayin means like a magician. So if you go to a magic show, and then what happens? The magician is there on the stage, One hat is there, and the magician wants to pull out endless numbers of scarves just to show. Oh, is it over? No, it's a bottomless hat. And the magician is not surprised. Supposing suddenly the magician was not expecting and suddenly one rabbit comes out. Ayo, what happened? Then it is not magic. The person doing the magic must not succumb to the magic. That's why it's magic. Even same thing. A person telling a joke. If you're telling a joke and before you start the joke, ha, 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 you're laughing. And then as you're telling the joke, one sentence also you're not able to manage. Few words and ha, 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 you roll on the floor laughing. Then by the time the punchline comes, if it ever comes, nobody else will laugh. Magic is gone. The joke is best told with a poker face. Poker face means no reactions. Straight face. Let the other people laugh, then you can join it. So here, Ishvara is a magician, never surprised by anything that happens because, why? Because it's all part of the show. Whole thing is a fantastic show. It's all part of the show. We are surprised. How could this happen? Why did this happen? Oh no. We are constantly surprised. Ishvara, not surprised. And this Ishvara is a matter to be understood, not a matter for belief. Why? Because there is two reasons. There is a curiosity. If anything is well made, the first question is anything you say. You take some scientific invention, well discovered, well made. And what is my question? Who made this? Who discovered this? Who is this genius behind this? There is a curiosity. That is one reason to understand no Ishvara. Second thing is there is longing to be one with the whole. Just like if one wants to align oneself with the most powerful person or whoever we think is the most powerful person. So suddenly the president of America comes here. And then what would happen? Everybody will want selfie with the president. Why? Because I want to be aligned with that. I want to be aligned with the president. I want to be one with the president. I want to be one with the president. Why? You know him from before? No. Does he happen to be your relative? Then why do you want to selfie with him? I want to show that I was close enough to take a picture with him. Why? Because he's powerful. That's all. Ex-president, not so much. Who cares? Yeah. Word X is in front of your name. So, yes. Not so much. But somebody in power right now, everybody makes a beeline for that because I want to be one with the most powerful, most influential, most rich, most Shaktiman person. And again, you delve into the question, why? Why you want to do that? Why you want to be in connection with this most powerful, most influential person? And what is the honest answer? I secretly want to be the most influential, most powerful person. And look at me. I can never be that. Look at me. For even two sentences, I can barely string together. Every which way, I am finite and limited. Height-wise, limited. Only weight-wise, unlimited. But height-wise, limited. Financially, limited. Strength-wise, limited. And then Influence-wise, doubly limited. Marriage-wise, private limited. That's what it is. Children-wise, also limited. Other people seem to have better children than I do. I don't know why that is the case. Every which way I find myself limited. Wherever I go, there is a block. Remember yesterday, what is this? Trapped in the canvas of Maya, trapped in the painting. This jiva goes to just eke out some influence. Catch a selfie in this life with the likes of Modi, Biden, all these people, powerful people. And in heaven, you will want a selfie with Indra. That's all it is. What the Shastra says is that the notion that you are limited is a conclusion. The notion that I am is a conclusion. And what kind of a conclusion? Erroneous conclusion, not the correct conclusion. It's a conclusion based on confusion, arising from the confusion. So what is easier to do? Is it easier to recognize and resolve the conclusion and confusion, so that I can understand I'm non-separate from the whole, I am influential, I am all power, I am all knowledge? Or is it better to keep on chasing after influential people, then trying to say, take a selfie with them and trying to have so many accomplishments, all of them time-bound, all of them space-bound, all of them increasing the notion that I am bound? Which is easier? The first one is easier. Yes, yet everyone goes after the second option. Like doing Dravida pranayama. You can catch the nose right here and do pranayama. But then there is Dravida pranayama. You have to have arms like Rama. Rama had long arms up till his knees. Then you can do like this. Why? When you can directly understand right here, right now, without having some kind of a far-fetched romantic ideas of taking photographs with famous people. Sometimes you go and take photographs of their houses. There is a TV show also, which is, what is that called? In America, there is one TV show, Lifestyles of the Rich. Yeah. And everybody looks at that. You go and see that there are 1,000 bedrooms and only one person living there. What for? Village can move into that mansion and live happily. And so now this is a very important discussion here. This longing for power, longing to be somebody, longing to have influence are all products of Atma Ajnanam, because you are Satchidananda. It's not enough to say you are Satchidananda, you are one with Ishvara. There is a longing to know the most influential entity in the entire universe. But how to know this Ishvara? Where is this Ishvara? We start with the basic premise. Everything that is here in the scheme of things called the Jagat is given. Starting with my own body, it's given. Body is given. It was there. As soon as you were born, it was there. It's not that you were born and then the body came along later on. No. And everything that is given seems to have an authorship. Body given, prana given, mind given, senses given. Things to eat, because the body needs to survive on food given, water given. And then on hot days, miraculously, when we were not expecting rain, suddenly rain came yesterday, given. We were not expecting rain till tomorrow evening or Saturday. But given. Sudden fall in temperatures, given. It's the samashti prayer of everyone who says, how can, are you there even? How can you let us be like this? Given. And when we look for the giver is not locally available. You can say, oh, the mother is the author of the child. Mother just incubates the baby. There is an incubator called womb that is also given. Correct temperature given. Mother is not the author of this child. In fact, you can go ask your mother. If she is available, one can ask the mother. Mom, yes. Do you know how to make kidneys? Did you make my kidneys? What will she say? Beta, I know how to make rajma. Kidney beans, I know how to make. Kidneys. Mom, yes. Do you know how to make brain? This is already the second question, all right? So she's already ticked off because this is how the questions are coming. What will she say now? I wish I knew how to make brain because then I would have given you better brains so that you won't ask these kinds of questions. This is what it is. Mother doesn't make brain. Mother doesn't make kidney. Mother doesn't know what's happening, much less the father. The baby comes out fully formed. Same way, the elephant mother doesn't know how to make elephant baby. Giraffe mummy doesn't know how to make giraffe baby. It's all just incubated. And yesterday I gave you the example of the turtle eggs. There you see Bhagavan completely. You see the order. The mother turtle doesn't have much, what is that called? Turtles, crabs and all. They don't have much of a maternal instinct. Not necessary. Given. Everything is given. I come to a scheme of things where not only everything is given, everything is intelligently put together. All the organs in the body know their jobs. The cells that form the kidneys do not do so randomly and accidentally. There is a job. They know how to eliminate toxic wastes from the body, purify the body. The cells that make up the brain also know what their job is. Plus, there are Bhagavan cells, master cells known as stem cells, that you can direct them to be anything. Amazing. This whole Jagat is amazing. If you look at it anatomically, it's a set of perfect laws. Everything is in order, even when we are talking about disorder. Disorder is from the standpoint of us, meaning the people who think it should be different. From the standpoint of one's own raga, dvesha, you will say, this is wrong, this is bad, this is awful. But from the standpoint of Ishvara, it is all how it is. It's one big, vast, colossal, infallible order. We don't say Ishvara is infallible. When you say Ishvara is infallible, that's a setup. We say that which is inevitable, that which is infallible is Ishvara. You flip the script and then it makes more sense. That which is infallible is Ishvara. You look at it from the standpoint of the anatomical order. This is how it is. Acharya Swamiji talked about Pujya Swamiji's ruminations about the placement of the nose. Remember that story? Where can the nose be? Here it seems to be right when I eat. It's coming in the way. Maybe it should be on top of the head. No, it can't be on top of that. Similarly, it cannot, the hands are where they are, the legs are where they are. Every animal is equipped in a certain way, and animals that cannot see well have certain other defenses. It's just all huge, colossal order. Any order you look at it, you see this, the order of the anatomy. What is that law? The law is wherever there are eyes, they shall see. You look at the eyes of a peacefully grazing cow, docile. The eyes of non-vegetarian animals. They are afraid of being prey because they know what is it to be the predator. They know that they also have predators. Here, the adoring eyes of a puppy dog, the eyes of an alligator. It looks like if they are made of glass. Like that it will be. Half the animal is teeth. And you think, oh, how about selfie with an alligator? Only thing that survives is the camera. That's all. Even if it eats it, it will spit it out. So this is all because it moves very quickly. Alligator, crocodile, don't be fooled by how still they are. They look to be in a meditative pose, like a sannyasi in samadhi. When you go close, then you know this is a sannyasi gone wrong. Absolutely. Very quickly they move. And the tail has a lashing power, very lot of horsepower the tail has. It's just very, very intense power. But the eyes, they also see. The eyes of a snake sees. Everything sees. And then if there are certain problems with the eyes, glaucoma, retinal detachment, so many things are there. Myopia, short-sightedness, far-sightedness, astigmatism, and then what else is there? And then there is the sight problems that come after 40 years of age. And all this is included in the order. All this is included in the order. This is the disorder. The so-called disorder is part of the order because any trouble with the eyes, for example, becomes part of another order. Infallible, wonderful order. What is the order here? Karmic order. It becomes part of the karmic order. And all these are a series of unending, intersecting orders. Everything is in place. You are in place. You are exactly where you are meant to be. Whatever is happening is supposed to happen. This is exactly how it is. Easier said than done, right? Not easy to make peace with this statement. Why? Because I have free will. I'm going to make sure that that's not the case. I'm going to fight it every bit of the way. Every minute of my life, I'm going to devote to fight this completely. What happens? I become exhausted. That's what happens. You can't go against the order because the order is an infallible manifestation of Bhagavan. It's not a mandate of Bhagavan. It's a manifestation of Bhagavan. You can't go against that order. It's just like putting your hand in the fire. And then you can't scold the fire. Why you burnt me? Why did you burn me? What will the fire say? I did not burn you. But who is responsible? So much ointment I had to put. Look, yes, I burned you. But just now you said I did not burn you. Yes, I did not burn you. You were to put your hand inside me. It is my nature to burn. Therefore, free will to stay away, to use me in a healthy manner. You've been given the wisdom for that. So if you go against the order, there are consequences. This is what karma is. We'll come to that. Don't worry about it right now. Right now, just understand Bhagavan in the form of the various orders, the anatomical order, the physiological order, the karmic order. Why somebody had to be born in a certain place at a certain date, at a certain time. And in India, we have astrology. Everybody wants. Everybody wants their child to become a very brilliant, strong individual. So as the mother nears the completion of the pregnancy, astrologers are consulted. So healthy woman, young woman, capable of giving natural birth, but they are so obsessed with the time of birth that they want this child to be born under this particular star, or they want the child not to be born under this particular star. So they'll convince some unscrupulous surgeons to say, please do a C-section. Cut open the mother and then bring the child out at this particular time. This is the thing. Or they might say she's developing complications. They might just say something where the doctors, the gynecologists also feel, that this may be a risk. And then what? Bhagavan has the last to say. I know of a situation where there was some kind of very Amrita Vela, some very auspicious alignment of the planets. And if this child had been born in that, whoever was born in that would rule the world and would have a huge, long life. Have adhipatyam, power, money, everything. And the parents said to the gynecologist, convinced the gynecologist, this is when the C-section has to happen. Bhagavan caused a traffic jam. It's so simple. Lots of cars and one muhurta, especially that ascendant. The lagna means ascendant. Ascendant means the nakshatra that is in the eastern sky. That only lasts for 20 minutes. So Bhagavan didn't have to work very hard. Only a 20-minute traffic jam was sufficient. The muhurta went away and the child was born under very ordinary, with an ordinary trajectory, with an ordinary destiny. This is the karmic order. One may clamor, one may bring in medical technology, one may think I can outwit Bhagavan. Bhagavan cannot be outwitted. When it's time to come into the world, it's the time. Bhagavan's time you come into the world. When it's time to go also, you don't go at your appointed time. Bhishma was an exception. He waited for Uttarayana. But you go at Bhagavan's time. There was a great sculptor, and this sculptor was just so amazing. You could not, all the sculptures he made were like, they were just amazing. He also happened to be, and what did he do? He looked into his horoscope. And then what did he find? Maybe this particular alignment of the planets, maybe it's time to go. Yikes, don't want to go, want to live. He had an idea. He made 9 sculptures just like himself. And on the appointed day when the dutas means the messengers of Lord Yama came, he also stood like this, because all the sculptures were in different Bharatanatyam poses. He also stood like this. The poor messengers were confused. They looked up, looked down. That person must have been a yogi. And then he's also not breathing. He also looks like a stone. And all the others look like a stone. They didn't want to bring the wrong thing. If they carried a stone sculpture, that means that he will have life, infinite life. They didn't want to make a mistake. Lord Yama is very strict. His name means Yama. Yama means the one who restrains. And so they came back and said, Hey Bhagavan, we don't know how to catch this fellow, because we have looked for him everywhere. All that is there is some sculpture standing in the sun. Nothing else is there. We looked in his house. We looked underneath in the basement. We looked high and low. We looked in the whole village. We don't know where he is. Lord Yama says, thank you. I do enjoy a challenge. Let me go. Let me go and see. He too looks high and low, nowhere. And the only thing that is there is 10 identical looking sculptures. He too circles the sculptures here. He doesn't bother trying to see who is alive, who is the stone. He just says, ah, what kind of a sculptor is this? Is it Vishwakarma, the divine sculptor, having come from heaven? Is it indeed he who has made all these things? Look at the expressions. Look at how lifelike it is. Each and every one. Look at all that are. If you look at them long enough, you think everybody is breathing. Alas, I have only one problem. I can't find the sculptor anywhere. I would like to fall at his feet. I would like to give him a reward. Such likes of skill and workmanship have I never seen in my life, in my whole life. In any of the three lokas, this kind of an expertise is not there. What happened? Me, I am that man. Aha, aajao. Come to daddy, he says, and takes him. You can't avoid death. You cannot avoid birth. And everything is just within the scope of the karmic order. There is also a psychological order. The way the mind works is not erratic. It is eminently predictable. You go to your friend and the friend goes, not talking to you. And what do you say? Oh, there was no reason, no rhyme, no reason. There is a reason. You just don't know the reason, that's all. There is a reason. There's definitely a reason. And what is that reason? The reason is that there is something that you might have done or said that triggered the unconscious mind. Unconscious mind in the other person. Unconscious mind given. Ability to trigger given. Ability to resolve the trigger given. Various moods of the mind given. And the beauty of it is amazing. The beauty of these various moods, you can see that it's not erratic at all. It all goes back to the background of the child. That's why there is a branch of knowledge called psychology, which says, given this particular background, let's say of neglect, abuse, fear, etc., given this particular background, that this adult child, the child who now has become an adult, will have issues of trust, will have issues of fear, will have issues of anxiety, sorrow, depression. This is the law. You see the connection? So the next time one says, if you say, I am sad, that sadness, when you own it up, then you are like this. What is this? Trapped in the painting, trapped in the tamas, rajas, sattva, colored maya painting. But if you are able to do a little analysis and see, first you have to, for this analysis, Ishvara is required. First you give that emotion to Bhagavan. Just say, you are the one making me sad. Here, give this sorrow back to you. I don't want it. Take it back. A finite, limited individual is immersing oneself in prayer, the altar of which is limitless. When the so-called limited individual immerses oneself into the limitless, all that is left is limitless. Because the limited is included in the limitless. No more it is my pain. No more is it my fear. No more is it my sorrow. No more is it my anger. No more is it my betrayal. No more is it my distrust. It becomes an Ishvara's law. Already there is relief. I don't have to carry this sorrow. I don't have to carry the burden of this anxiety. I can give it and then look at it with a little more space, if not complete dispassion. I can neutralize the attachment to this pain. I can look at this pain and feel a lot of love for that child as me, which had to undergo this much difficulty. This can be a very nice meditation. Visualize yourself as a child, 4 or 5-year-old, innocent, cute, defenseless, vulnerable, not knowing anything. Visualize that child. And in the meditation, send that child a lot of love from the adult self. Look at the child with compassion. What all you had to undergo to become like this now. What all you had to undergo. Look at it from the standpoint of compassion. Same thing we can do as a meditation with regard to the primary caregivers. Look upon the father as a 4-year-old child. Look upon the mother. Visualize the mother as a 4-year-old child. You see the same thing. Defenseless, small, vulnerable. And you can ask the same question. I don't know what all happened to you. What happened to you to make you the adult that you were, that you have become, or you did become? This way, we don't personalize anything, including our own emotions. We are able to look upon them compassionately. Ishvara in the form of the psychological order. And that is why the connection to Ishvara has to be forged, even though it's already there. A tree is connected to the forest. But in prayer, whether it's a meditation or whether it's a ritualized prayer or whether it is chanting, in prayer, Vachikam, Manasam, Kayikam, what do? We connect to this. We highlight this connection to Bhagavan. It has to be highlighted because it is easily forgotten. It is not understood. It has to be highlighted. And I need a place. I need an altar of surrender where I can take things that I cannot tell anybody, details of which are too intimate, too gruesome, too fearful, too stressful for anybody to. Bhagavan can handle. Give it to Bhagavan. And that becomes prayer. Even when one is angry, one tells all kinds of things to Bhagavan. Even that is prayer in our tradition. In other traditions, it could be blasphemy, but for us, it is prayer. The holiest of Sri Rudram says, Drape, Andhasaspate, Daridraha. You're calling Bhagavan all kinds of names. Names are also prayer. Why? Because I am relating to Bhagavan by having a Sahasranama. These 1,000 names of my own frustrations. My frustration becomes the 108 names, becomes the 1,000 names. But I'm relating. And in that relating, there is a therapy that is happening. In all other areas of therapy, what do you have to do? You have to pay the therapist. And then sometimes the therapist is not available. One goes for marital counseling, but the therapist is having marital problems. So all these things are there. But here is Bhagavan, completely available. Super therapist. That's why all the icons of Bhagavan in the tradition are smiling. They're all smiling. And they have this hand. What is this? Don't fear, I am here. Abhaya Mudra. Smiling. Even when you're angry, even if you say, what are you smiling about? Don't you see what you have done to my life? You cannot. Bhagavan will not say anything, will not talk back. You just keep quiet and continue to smile. That itself is transformative, because most of the anguish that one carries just needs a dispassionate listener. That's all it needs. Even when your friend comes to you, you may want to say, oh, I can fix this. I have some suggestions. You can do this, you can do that. Just stop right there and instead decide to just listen. Be completely quiet. Empty your own mind and just listen. They will immediately feel better. Most of the time, that's all one needs. That's all one needs is this deep listening, which is provided automatically in a prayerful situation. That's why it's called the altar, because it has the power to alter you. That's why it's altar. And that is the relationship of this jiva to Ishvara. That is Shraddha. Even when the Shraddha is disturbed, I do everything to bring that back, to be in right relationship. This is the main qualification for Atmajnana. The relatively, when you understand Ishvara absolutely as nothing but yourself, nothing more is left to do. That is Atmajnana. Here, on the relative level, I recognize the presence of Ishvara as someone I can connect to. The author of the universe, the mother and the father of the universe. That's why Maya, feminine. It's not that Maya is a woman. No, it's the feminine only from the standpoint of creation. The one who can create is feminine, is coded as feminine. The raw material non-separate from this intelligence. From the standpoint of the intelligence, Ishvara is known as Nimitta Karana, Nimitta. From the standpoint of the raw material, it is known as, the same Ishvara is known as Upadana Karanam. Raw material, Upadana. Nimitta, the intelligence. So, for example, every creation has these two aspects. So this requires raw material. The making of the pot requires raw material, which is clay. But that's not all that is required. No, then we need a wheel. Yes, we need a wheel, all right. You go and throw this on the wheel. You think you can formulate a pot? No. It will look like a chapati, a sad chapati, because it requires knowledge, skill. It requires skill, which presupposes knowledge. So the knowledge plus the raw material brings forth this pot. Knowledge plus the raw material brings forth the ornament. The ability to the form of the ornament is knowledge. It's all knowledge. Similarly, the ability to project from this nirguna, nirakara, from this attributeless forms, colors, things which have attributes, everything is nothing short of magic. Ghatasya karta, ghatagnyah. The maker of the pot has to have knowledge of the pot. Gyaha means janati iti gyaha. The one who knows is called gyaha. Short form. Ghatakarta, ghatagnyah. What about cloth? The weaver has to have the knowledge of weaving. Pata. Pata means cloth. Patakarta, patagnyah. And what is this Jagat? Everything. Sarvam. Sarvasya karta, sarvagnyah. The pot maker has pot knowledge, cloth maker has cloth knowledge, computer maker has computer knowledge, carpenter has wood knowledge, table knowledge. The maker of all is what? All knowledge. Resting knowledge has to rest in a conscious being. All knowledge. And one more difference between the pot and between the maker of the pot and between the maker of all. When I go to the shop and buy this pot, this came from Devaprayag. I didn't buy it, but that's where they have all these small pots. So if you go to Devaprayag and buy this pot, does the potter come along with it, along with their family? No. You don't even know who made it. You just appreciate how cute it is, and it is elevated to the level of a teaching pot. That's all. But everything in the Jagat. So here, first let us see this. Technically, let us see this example. So here, the Upadana Karana, what is Upadana Karana for this? Clay is separate from the Nimitta Karana, which is the intelligence. Same thing in gold, same thing in cloth. Every object we find bhinna nimitta upadana karanatvam. The cause is separated into the material and the maker. The maker most of the time is anonymous, and the maker does not come along with the product. When we talk of the Jagat, Ishvara is what? Abhinna nimitta upadana karanam. Ishvara is the cause of the Jagat. This much we have understood. What kind of cause? The cause which is both raw material and the skill involved, the knowledge involved. Abhinna, non-separate, inseparable. That's why Maya and Brahman, only for the sake of analysis, we have understood separately, but don't separate the two. Kalidasa says this. Vagartha viva samprikta vagartha pratipattaye jagatah pitarau vande Parvati Parameshwarau. in his introduction to Raghu Vamsha, he has this invocatory prayer. Those that are united like the word and its meaning. Vagarthau iva, sampriktau, those that are together, those that are together like a word and its meaning cannot be separated. These two also can never be separated. I invoke them. Why? Vagartha pratipattaye, so that these words that I am about to write may be understood by all. Who are these that you're invoking? Parvati Jagataf Pitarau, Mata cha, Pita cha, Pitarau. We have Sanskrit is a very compact language. Mother and father, 5 syllables. Pitarau, 3 syllables. Very compact. Mother and father, Pitarau. Or Pitacha, Matacha, Matarau. You can say that also, same thing. In a compound, you can say Pitarau means mother and father together, the parents of the universe, I salute. Parvati and Parameshwara. You don't separate. You don't say which is Maya, which is Ishvara. It's all Ishvara. It's one abhinna, one non-dual abhinna adana karana, where the material is non-separate from the maker. That means what? Wherever you look, there is Ishvara. Your physical body is Ishvara. Everything is sacred for us. When the colonizers came right from the beginning, from Alexander, not so great, to not so great Britain, all these colonizers came and they said, oh, these people are crazy. What's wrong with these people? They're worshipping a tree. They are sitting in front of a rock. They are worshipping a rock. They are putting tilak on the cow and doing arati to the cow. Somebody asked Pujya Swamiji, how can you worship cow? Swamiji said, if you can eat it, I can definitely worship it. Let's not talk about this anymore. Really? If you have no compunction eating it, who are you to tell me that not to worship it? This is something which is so beautiful to understand. This is something we have to really see. Abhinna nimitta upadana karanam. Whatever there is in the universe, we find sacred, a fact that has flummoxed all the colonizers from the beginning. What are these people doing? Sitting in front of a rock, worshipping the rock. And then the same people in the West, then somebody got this idea that because there is a spiritual poverty in the so-called developed nations. There is a lot of abundance, material abundance, but there is a great spiritual poverty. Unfortunately, it's happening in India also. That is why we need the Shastra, we need Dharma, we need to study about our culture. And what is this spiritual poverty? There's nothing to relate to. What to relate? One person got a very nice idea and then put one small pebble in one little, what is that called? Ziploc bag. Okay, that self-seal bag. Sold it for $10. Pet rock. Pet rock. Meaning you keep it in your pocket and then whenever you're upset, you hold on to it, you tell it your secret, you hug it, kiss it, you embrace it. Every day you look at it, put it in your pocket. It will be the friend you never had. It's a pet rock. We said, that is Shivalinga we have known for thousands of years. Various sizes. You can have a pocket Shivalinga at home, small one. They said it should not be more than the thumb. You can get this pocket Shivalinga you can have, or you can go and get the biggest one, which is, look at the biggest one, Brihadishwara temple in Tanjavur. Huge. Same thing. We have to have a relationship. That is why in a culture which is informed by this relationship, there is a relative sense of cheerfulness. There is a relative sense of security. There is a relative sense of contentment. The feeling I'm taken care of is overwhelming everything else. No, but why can't I relate to the unformed? Unformed means formless. Relationship is a form. You can't say I'm going to relate in a formless way. It is you. It cannot be related to. That which you relate to has a form. Here has many forms. In fact, every form is its form. The famous quote by Pujya Swamiji. We do not say there is one God. We do not say there are many gods. We say there is only God. Whatever I look at, God. Whatever I like, God. Whatever I do not like, oh my. This is the tradition. This is the vision. A vision of no division. Abhinna nimitta upadana karana. That karana is separate from myself. But then how did Ishvara create with nothing? It's not with nothing. It's nothing else other than herself, himself. Nothing else. That's all. You also create. Night you create. What do I create? In the dream there is, you have your own Jagat. Comprising moving and non-moving things, sentient things, insentient things. Insentient things can also move, okay, like Vayu. Now don't get confused here. Sentient things can be stationary, like a tree. In fact, that's why we don't have the distinction sentient and insentient. Everything is sentient for us. Everything is alive. There is nothing inert in the whole universe. What about a rock? Rock is also Bhagavan. Rock is also Satchidananda. You can say subtle body is not there. The expression of that Satchidanandatvam is lacking, but it is still Bhagavan. Rock is Bhagavan. Rock. Tree is Bhagavan. Bhagavan transcends the tree. Mountain is Bhagavan. Ocean is Bhagavan. Every body of water is Bhagavan. Pond is Bhagavan. Lake is Bhagavan. River is Bhagavan. Sky is Bhagavan. Rain is Bhagavan. When it does not rain, that is also Bhagavan. Heat is Bhagavan. Cold is Bhagavan. Do I need to go on? Abhinna nimitta upadana karanam. And in the Hindu tradition, we have many differences. If there are two Hindus, there will be 10 interpretations of what Hinduism is. Every grandmother is a pope in the tradition. No, she knows what pope. She will tell everything, whatever needs to be done. She knows. She can wax eloquent. She can be even in the, she may not know all the mantras of the Upanishad, but she knows the vision. She knows what this is all about. Why? Because Vedanta has permeated the level of folk songs. The songs that are sung, the songs that are talked about in the life, in the everyday life. People sowing the crop, harvesting the crop. The churners of the buttermilk, all these things. This is the time all these songs of oneness. Everybody knows. Every grandmother is a pope. Then when you ask, you say, you ask all of them, they will not agree at all. Each one will have an idea of what is God in Hindu tradition. There are lots of philosophical matas which are different from one another. But all of them will agree. First is that everything that is here, some manifestation of Bhagavan, even the Dvaitins agree with that. Therefore, I cannot harm it. Therefore, I have to forge the right relationship with each and everything, each being. And second, this life has a purpose. This life is not a bus stop to getting to some afterlife. The point of life is not an afterlife. There is a purpose fulfilled here and now. This also they will agree. Very beautiful. Abhinna nimitta upakarana. This is from the standpoint of the samashti. How to look at the universe with the eyes of wisdom. And then, just like in my dream, I have this whole jagat of names and forms. Each one is alive, each one is sentient. I have given the being to each and every one of them. And when this jagat is, when the time comes to wake up, this jagat folds up magically. This jagat rolls out magically. This jagat is sustained magically. Similarly, we have the parallel. This whole, the non-dream jagat is also sustained magically. Also is taken back without any residue. Also issues forth. The Jagat shares, just like a baby shares the DNA of the parents, the Jagat also shares the DNA of its parents. Bhagavan. What is Bhagavan? Satchidananda. Jagat Satchidananda. Abhinna nimitta upadana karanatvam means appreciating Ishvara in every form. In all the things that have form, in all the things that have no form, appreciating the presence of Bhagavan right here, right now. And then the Upanishad will say, the Taittiriya Upanishad says, this Bhagavan is nothing but Atma. Tasmad va etasmad atmana akashas sambhutah akashat vayuh vayor agnihi agnerapah adhyah prithivi पृथिव्या ओषधयः ओषधीभ्योऽन्नम् अन्नात् पुरुषः. Out of this Atma alone, as though came this whole five elements. Akasha, from the subtlest to the grossest we go, Akasha. Why? It can only be sensed with one organ, sound, ears. Akasha and ears have something to do with one another. Vayu, Akashad Vayu. Vayu can be objectified with two senses. What are they? Hearing, in ears. And then touch, sense of touch. Vayoho Agnihi. Agni can be objectified as a little more gross because it is subject to objectification by three sense organs. What are they? Touch. Hearing, touch, yes, it comes down. What is the new one? Sight, eyes. Agner apaha. From the Agni, from the fire, the waters came. Water can be objectified with the help of four sense organs. What are they? First three are no-brainers. They have come from before. What are they? Touch? No, first three. Hearing, touch, sight. And the specific one is for water is taste. Oh, but water has no taste. That is its taste. And can be objectified with all 5 sense organs. What is the unique sense organ connected? We smelled the earth yesterday when the rain started to come. What is that? They have a pleasant, musky, earthy smell. That is the Prithvi. This is how the cosmology of creation is represented. Going further. आकाशः सम्भूतः आकाशात् वायुः वायोस्तेजः तेजसः आपः अद्भ्यः पृथिवी. Instead of Agni, the word Akasha, space, Akashat Vayu. Vayu means air. Air element is the 5 element model that is being presented, because the 5 elements are the building block of the entire universe. So we start with that. Vayoho Tejaha, from the air, fire. From the fire, what is that? Water. From the water, earth has come. All this has come from Brahmatma. Then how, what comprises Akasha? It's just a list. We can go through it very quickly. Etesham Panchatattvanam Madhye Akashasya Satvikamshat Shrotrendriyam Sambhutam. So out of these 5 elements, from the sattvic aspect of the subtle Akasha, we are talking of the subtle elements. They are not yet gross elements. We'll see the grossification very soon. From the element called Akasha, then from the sattvic portion of that subtle element, what happened? The ears were born. So the ears and space have connected. Satvikamshat Tvagindriyam Sambhutam. From the Sattvika portion of the Vayu, touch, the sense of touch was born. Agnehe Sattvikamshat Chakshurindriyam Sambhutam. From the Sattvika portion of the Agni fire element, the eyes are born. The eyes were made. The eyes were made. And then Jalasya Sattvikamshat Rasanendriyam Sambhutam. The tongue, the organ of taste, was born out of the Sattvika portion of the subtle element called water. Prithivyaha Sattvikamshat Pranaindriyam Sambhutam. Finally, the ability to sense smell is connected with the earth element. Etesham Panchatattvanam Samashti Sattvikamshat Mano Buddhi Ahankara Chitta Antahkaranani Sambhutani. Now, this was the individual Sattvika portion of the 5 elements, which gives rise to the primary sense organs. Now, the collective Sattvika of all the elements, the Sattvika portion of all the elements together, air, fire, water, space, earth, everything together gives rise to the mind. Mind means 4 things are there. Manaha. And what is this Manaha? The one that cannot decide. Buddhi, the decisive faculty called the intellect. Then Chittam, the emotive faculty where emotions are sensed. Then ahankara, the one that owns all three up. This is my buddhi, this is me, this is me, this is me. The one in I notion rests is called ahankara. They were made up of the sattvika portion of the 5 elements together. Then this also we can go through quickly. Sankalpa vikalpatmakam manaha nischayatmika buddhi ahankarta ahankarah chintanakर्तृ chittam. Same thing, it's just listing the functions of these. What is the mind for? To be indecisive. What is the buddhi for? To be certain. What is the chittam for? To get anxious and keep worrying. And what is the ahankara for? To say, this is me, I am the doer, to own myself up. That's all it says. Manaso devata chandrama buddhehe brahma ahankarasya रुद्रः चित्तस्य वासुदेवः. This is interesting because before we saw the adhishthana devatas, the presiding deities for the various sense organs and organs of action. Now we are seeing the presiding deities for the various components of what is called the mind. Manaso devata chandrama. Very interesting. The moon is the presiding deity of the mind. In an individual's horoscope, first they see the placement of Jupiter, second they see the placement of the moon. If the placement of the moon is afflicted, then there will be trouble in thinking. The moon is very much like the mind, always moving, waxing and waning, and that's why if there is some, what should I say, a very difficult case of mental illness, etc., on full moon days, those things, those conditions can exacerbate. There's a connection between the mind and the moon. And sometimes the moon is not in any nakshatra for a day and a half. In English, the astrological term is going void of course. That is the technical English term put in English. Void of course means days when suddenly one feels, it happens once in a month or once sometimes, you just feel blah, tattvamasi, whatever, because the moon is not in any nakshatra. There is no sense of bearing, there is no sense of belonging, there is no sense of enthusiasm, suddenly like whatever. This is that feeling sometimes is there. So the moon and the connection between the moon and the what is that called? Mind, very, very strong. So if the mind is afflicted, the astrologer will say to wear the moonstone ring on a certain finger. Pearl also resonates with the mind. So any kind of white stones they will make the person wear as a form of parihara, resolution for this. And then what do we have? Buddhehe Brahma, Brahmaji, creator of everything, including certitude. The buddhi is again like Lord Brahma, very creative. It is the source of all discoveries. It is the source of all inventions. Therefore, there is a correspondence with on the samashti level, on the collective level with Brahmaji. Then what is the next one? Ahankarasya Rudraha. This one is very interesting. Rudra is not for the faint of heart. Okay. So the definition of Rudra is twofold. Sarvan Rodayati, the one who makes everyone cry. What is the definition of Bhagavan? One who makes me cry. Why does he make me cry? Because he is giving the karma phalas. Whose karma phalas? Not the neighbor's karma phala, my own karma phala. Horrific as it is, I don't want to face it. And so I cry when the karma phalas are given. I cry. So the first meaning of the word Rudra is Sarvan Rodayati, the one who makes each and every jiva cry, cry, cry. The one who reduces each and every jiva into a cry baby. This is Rudra. Then Rodanam Yati. And after making you cry, Bhagavan has compassion. Takes out a hanky and then wipes the tears. Hanky God. Okay, yes. First hanky panky and then only hanky. Okay, yeah. First creates mischief in the life and gives the karma phala. And then after that, what? Poor thing. Okay, very hard. Yes, 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 very hard. Let me give you a hug. Wipe those ears with my own divine celestial hanky. This is also Rudra. Ahankara is like that. Ahankara. Rudra also means the prakopa of the karma phala. Ahankara is associated with kopa. Kopa means tranquility. Am I right? No. Kopa means anger. Prakopa, severe anger. Who is angry? Not the mind. They are all inert, not the senses, but the ahankara shining in the borrowed light of Satchidananda, borrowing its being from Satchidananda. Then what does it do? It yells, it screams, it cries. It's angry. The anger is, and then after that, it has the ability, because of the free will, especially in the human body, and this Tattva Bodha is meant for human beings. And so in the human body, it has the ability to self-soothe unless there is some problem. The ability to self-soothe is there with everybody. Some people can self-soothe quickly. Now angry, now okay. Some people can self-soothe a little slowly. Now angry, in the next janma, next life. Okay. So therefore, ahankarasya rudraha, given to anger, connected to karma phala, all these things. Chittasya vasudeva. Vasudeva is the indweller. Vasudeva is Bhagavan who dwells within. And the chittam, the emotive faculty, has to recognize Bhagavan as Vasudeva, as the indweller. The emotions otherwise come out because the person feels alienated, disconnected from everything and everybody, disconnected from other jivas, disconnected from oneself, disconnected from the universe, disconnected from Bhagavan. That is why the chitta, the emotions weep. Weeping for what? What that is there, the truth of those emotions are sitting right there. The Satchidanandam Brahma Bhagavan is Vasudeva. Therefore, the presiding deity of the chitta is who? Vasudeva. Bhagavan as the indweller, not only of my chitta, but every chitta. And a very nice prayer for being in tandem with this Bhagavan sitting in the heart is Tava Chittam, Mama Chittam, Anuchittam Bhavatu. Tava Chittam, Mama Chittam, Anuchittam Bhavatu. May your thoughts, my thoughts be in alignments. May there be only your thoughts. May there be only your agenda for me. May there be less and less of me and more of you in me as me. That is the way to go. That is the best prayer for a mumukshu. And then now we go to the what all came from the rajas portions of the five elements. Etesham panchatattvanam madhye akashasya rajasamshat vagindriyam sambhutam vayoho rajasamshat पाणीन्द्रियं सम्भूतम् वह्नेः राजसांशात् पादेन जलस्य राजसांशात् उपस्थेन्द्रियं पृथिव्या राजसांशात् उदेन्द्रियं एतेषां समष्टि पञ्चप्राणाः सम्भूताः एतेषां पञ्चतत्त्वानां मध्ये among these five elements speech, organ of speech, because speech is heard in sound. Sound is connected to space. Vayoho, from the rajas element, from the rajas portion of the Vayu element, the hands were born. Portion of the fire element, from the rajas portion of the water element, the organs were formed. From the rajas portion of the eliminatory organs were formed. And then from the samashti rajas portion of all the five elements together, pranas were formed. Just a list to know this. Etesham panchatattvanam kamasamshat panchikrita panchatatvani bhavanti. So from this, then we have a list. From this, the individual elements and the all these things that came. What about from the tamasic elements? Tamasic portion of all the elements. Here we delve into this Panchikaranam discussion. These Panchatattvanam, five elements, Tamasamshat, from the Krita Panchatatvani Bhavanti. You find the grossified Panchikaranam Katham iti chet. If somebody were to ask Panchikaranam, what shall we say? No, we'll say, let us see that. Om Purnamadah Purnamid Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Om.